Hello, friends, welcome back. You're right here on the series Julius Caesar, one of the most famous Shakespearean tragedy. It's presented by me, Palak Sharma, and now we're going to do the analysis of the Act Second, scene first to fourth. We're already done with the summary of these scenes. Few things about me: I'm an economics honors student, a poet at heart, theatre geek, mixture of Keats and Shakespeare. And once you're done watching the lesson, do not forget the three R's and the S: rate, review, recommend, and share the lessons. Here's my URL, follow me on Unacademy. Now, once we're done with Act Second, we already know what happens in the act. But for an analysis, we need to first know the themes. Firstly, there's Brutus's insomnia in Act Second, scene first. Then, in Shakespearean plays, women are not usually marginalized. There's a balance between women, but in this play, the two women, both Portia and Calpurnia, have been shown marginalized. This Calpurnia's dream again, which is an accurate prediction of Caesar's death, which will happen in the next scene, next act. Then we have Brutus's conundrum, the conundrum going on inside him, the love for Rome or love for Caesar. That's again an important theme of the Act Second. And then we have an interesting use of third person by Caesar, which is showcasing his own consideration of his own power. It's representative of how high he holds himself in his own eyes. So we'll start firstly with Brutus. So we already know that throughout the play, it's Brutus alone who suffers from kind of lack of sleep. So Brutus also says that since Caesar's first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Now he adds this that his mind, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection. Now, what his insomnia, not being able to sleep, represents is that there's an internal struggle which is inside him. It's over whether to betray his friend or act in what he believes to be the best interests of Rome. Now, his personal struggle, the struggle against the one he's having against himself, he's having two sides in this scene. So his personal struggle is a microcosm for the civil war that eventually occurs. So it's just a small form of the civil war which will happen in future after the great act of killing Caesar has been done, completed. So it's the next part, what will happen when Caesar is dead. So in the Act 4 and scene 3rd, we will again see this kind of thing because Brutus again suffers from insomnia. It's a bout of insomnia that time because he encounters Caesar's ghost at that time. So again, Brutus's insomnia is just a realization of his own dilemma to go with the conspirators or to go with his loyalty to his best friend Caesar. So it's again a smaller personification of the civil war which was going to happen in future in the Roman Empire after death of Caesar, the assassination of Caesar. Now, secondly, we'll see that women are marginalized in Julius Caesar. Portia, as you can see here, and Calpurnia, the other women in the play. Now, they are confined to domestic household. There are no scene where they are shown outside except the one starting scene where Calpurnia is having, like she's walking in procession with Antony and Caesar. So we see that there are important differences between them despite being domesticated. Firstly, Portia is the first of the two to appear. She appears first in the play, and she literally struggles to convince Brutus that she is worthy of his confidence. She first kneels to him, she then begs him to share his secrets, and then she stands up dramatically, and there's a kind of aura of Portia which brings masculinity. She says, think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded. She questions Brutus's masculinity itself, saying that I am strong enough because I have been fathered by a father who was strong, and I am being husbanded. My husband is you. So of course I'm a strong woman. I'm not like any other weaker person from my sex, from a female. I'm different from them. She then stabs herself in the thigh to prove her strength. So Brutus capitulates to Portia. He acknowledges her strength. But in contrast, Caesar ignores and he spurns Calpurnia's warning against attending the Senate. So at first, her dream of his death, it keeps him kind of attending from Senate. But now when Decius arrives and he's able to convince him that his wife is silly, then Caesar gives no heed to what he's saying, what she's saying, what Calpurnia is trying to say. But ironically, we see that Calpurnia is not as powerful as women of Portia, but both women go to extreme attempts. They go to extreme actions in attempt to sway their husband from what they're trying to do. They're trying to sway their husbands. Portia is trying to sway her husband from killing Caesar, and Calpurnia is trying to sway her husband from attending the Senate because she knows he will be killed. Ironically, Calpurnia's dream of Caesar's statue bleeding and 100 holes in it with which Romans waved their hand. It's an accurate prediction of Caesar's death, which occurs in the act third. So in third act, we'll see the scene where Caesar is actually killed. There's no spoiler because we already know Caesar is going to get killed. So Odysseus then mocks the dream. He says that bring up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. He just mocks Caesar's wife. Now Decius Brutus, he brilliantly creates an alternative interpretation of Calpurnia's dream. And he's kind of saying, your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood. So now he has just converted the whole concept. He has just made it roll on the ground, and we can see the other side of the dream. We are just seeing that it is for prosperity, Rome's prosperity. So Caesar's not going to die. He's going to revive Rome. He's going to make dead Rome alive. He's not going to die himself. That's what Decius Brutus is able to convince Caesar of. And the next thing is Brutus. It is contrary to the way he tries to present himself, and we try to conceive Brutus that he's an honorable man, but now he has been shown as a vain man. He is easily manipulated by Cassius, and the way is through these letters. Cassius first, he compares Brutus to Caesar, and he compares them by comparing their names, and then subsequently he tells Brutus that he represents the best quality of Caesar, and that too without the flaws of Caesar. So Brutus is the better Caesar without flaws, minus the flaws. And next he drafts letters to Brutus, which he delivers with the help of Cinna by tossing them through the window, and then he leaves Brutus where he will find them. So Brutus's fatal flaw is revealed when he interprets the first letter he receives according to his own personal bias. He misconstrues the letter's meaning. He misconstrues to fulfill his own desire for love of Rome, he says. So what he says is how he misinterprets. He says, give me much light that I may read by them. He then opens the letter and reads, Brutus, thou sleepst awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleptst awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc.? Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus. Now Brutus is so focused on his inner turmoil, his inner dilemma, that when he reads the letter, he fills in the blanks with, shall Rome stand under one man's awe, and the one man being Caesar. He further misunderstands the letter by attributing it to Rome, as if this were a call from the people rather than a note written by Cassius. So he is misinterpreting everything according to his own dilemma, which is going inside his own heart. Brutus has been looking for a reason to act, and the letter provides that stimulation to Brutus to act against Caesar. To this point, we have seen that Brutus has hesitated to act against Caesar because he feels that needs the support of the Roman citizenry. But however, this letter, it will make him believe that to be from this letter is from Roman citizens. So it provides him with an excuse to act against Caesar. Brutus's greatest error is in through the murder wanting to uphold the republic while simultaneously breaking the fundamental rules of the republic. So this is ironical in itself. He's trying to maintain the republic with the help of breakage of the republican era. He tells Cassius that let us be sacrificers but not butchers. Case we all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then would come by Caesar's spirit and not dissemble Caesar. But, alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And, gentle friends, let's kill him boldly but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds, and let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seen, to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eye, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. So he tries to clear himself of the tag of a murderer. He says that we'll not kill him wrathfully. We'll make him fit for the food of God, not the food of the hounds, the foxes. We'll not just give him away. We'll rise him on a pedestal. That's what he wants. But yet he refrains from using the word murderer for himself. But yet murderers is exactly what Antony will call them, the conspirators. So Brutus falsely tries to murder and divide the indivisible by pretending killing Caesar is not murder when it clearly is. So Caesar's greatest achievement is his ability to outlive his mortal death. He alludes to this thought, this through the use of third person. Now he says, this is the next theme, that he uses himself as third person. He says, Caesar should be a beast without a heart, and Caesar shall go forth. This is in contrast with Brutus's use of I and his eventual defeat. So he says that, do you love me? I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you. This is Brutus. He uses the word I, and this leads to his eventual defeat. But Caesar uses third person. Caesar's use of third person, it creates a sense of permanence, as do the image of Caesar involves of Mount Olympus and the Colossus. These references foreshadow the power Caesar will continue to hold even after his death. So even if Caesar is dead, his power will remain like the constant star, as he mentions himself to be. So Caesar's ambitions are clearly propounded by his words, his usage of third person instead of first person for himself. So Caesar is a powerful man, is an ambitious man, and through the act second of the play, we come to realize what the plot has become. What it was initially, the problem of Caesar being ambitious, being overpowering, and now the solution to the problem, killing of Caesar, stabbing him with the help of Brutus. Brutus is again involved because we know he will add legitimacy to the plan. He will make the evil plan sound like a good idea. He will make the murderers look like perjurers. He will make the co-conspirators look like priests to the Roman Republic, the Roman public. So that's important. That it's interesting now. The play is getting more and more interesting with every next act and every next play, every next scene, I mean. So here we are going to finish this right now, and we are next going to study act third of the play Julius Caesar. Stay tuned and we'll get more into the tragedy of Shakespeare. Thank you, and do not forget the 3 R's in the S: rate, review, recommend, and share the lessons. Have a nice day.